Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with mail day number 60. These are going to be a bunch of cards that I picked up in the PWCC Weekly Auction number 49, which I think, well, it'll be the next to last PWCC Weekly Auction of the year. PWCC Weekly Auction number 50 should end on New Year's Eve. So this will be the next to last PWCC Weekly Auction. Anyway, let's not waste any time. I try to keep these around 10 minutes. These are pretty cool. It's a bunch of baby Jordans, but I think you guys will like it. So we'll hit view slideshow, and I've got them pulled up in my PWCC vault. And let's start with card number 1, which is the 1997 Metal Universe Planet Metal. It's a PSA 8. And usually I call these PSA 8s my baby Jordans, but this one actually was a little bit pricey because, as you guys know, the 97 Metal Universe inserts are not super cheap in any grade. And so I needed this PSA 8 to finish this PSA 810 pairing, which you see on your screen. So there's the PSA 10, there's the PSA 8. Pairing is complete. And so that is one down, and I am set there. As you guys know, if you haven't seen my mail day videos before, I'm basically collecting high-end Jordans in BGS 9.5 and PSA 10s, but I'm also collecting PSA 8 Jordans, almost like a parallel collection, a Jordan collection next to my Jordan collection on a little bit lower budget with the PSA 8s because I like Jordans too much and I like mail days too much. So card number 2 in this mail day number 60 is this 1992 Topps Archives, card number 52. Beautiful action pose. Jordan soaring in for the dunk. He's got the chain, so that means it was probably a dunk contest dunk. He's wearing the Jordan 1s. It's the old school, super boring, just Chicago in script with the number 23. It looks like there's a hell of a lot of blank space on there with no advertisements and no other script or anything like that. But this is the 1992 Archives. Not at a super expensive card in PSA 8. I think I paid maybe $20 or $25 or something like that. I actually picked this card up off the PWCC fixed marketplace, which is something that I haven't really messed with much lately because so many of the cards on there are priced with 2021 prices. It's almost a waste of time, but I happened to snag this one. I put in a lowball offer. He didn't have a minimum offer, and I say lowball. I put in, it was probably listed for like 70, and I offered maybe 20, and I think I got it for like 20 or something like that. I can't remember. But this completes my pairing for the very same card. So I've got the PSA 10 right there, and now I put that PSA 8 next to it, and so that's another pairing that is complete. And of course that card is every bit, it's called Topps Archives because they used past Topps releases and printed 1992 cards using the same kind of motif. So this was 84 Topps Baseball, which I'm crazy familiar with from collecting and chasing the Darryl Strawberries and the Mattingleys and the who am I forgetting? The Wade Boggs second year and the Tony Gwynns and the Ricky Hendersons, and that is the origin of my passion in the hobby was collecting baseball cards from the early mid 80s. And so this card undeniably is a remake based on the 1984 Topps, which is probably the year, other than 1987 Topps, 84 Topps is probably the year I bought more baseball cards than any other year in my entire life, if I had to guess. What's next? Let's keep rolling here. This one I'm super thrilled about. So I picked up the 10. I already had the PSA 8. I needed the PSA 10. And this is a rough card in PSA 10. I probably should have had this pulled up. Let me pull up Card Ladder real quick. Log in. Let me type in Electrified Jordan PSA 10, see if that pulls up. Yeah, there we go. So I should have had this pulled up. Sorry, there's the card, right? That's the card that I picked up. Pop 98, so less than 100 pop. But you can see, based on the last years, this card is defying the market, right? The market's generally trending down. This Electrified card is trending up. I was actually really happy because, as you can see, it had run from 565. Yeah, it dipped down here to 416. But then it went on a little run because there's not that many of them out there, still less than 100, all the way up to 843 a month ago. The last one sold for 700, and I picked mine up at 588, which I was very happy with to get into this card for 588. So again, it's a PC card, so the price point is not, it's not like I'm going to sell it if I can get 750 for it. I'm not selling it at all. None of the cards you see on the screen today are going to be for sale or for trade because they're part of my collection, and I'm growing my collection forward, not backwards. So none of these cards are for sale, but I just love this card. It's one of the many many Jordan cards that have electricity and lightning in it. I'm thinking of Skylights, I think. I'm thinking of Electrified that you're looking at on your screen. I'm thinking of Electrifying, which is another card, which I think is also from Fleer. And then, of course, the Scoring Kings, which is probably the most recognizable, noticeable Lightning Jordan card. And I'm sure there's others, but those four certainly come to mind just off the top of my head. But love this card. Love that look of Jordan on the background. The PSA 10 is in great condition. And then I already had that's the next card. Sorry, I've got my pairing up here. So there's my pairing now. So I've got that 8-10 pairing complete as well. There's the 8, there's the 10. So another pairing complete. The next card on our list is the AW1. This is the 1991 Upper Deck Award winner, holograms. And so there's an AW1, an AW4, and an AW9, I believe. This is the AW1, and that's what the back looks like. This is the scoring leader, basically, hologram. So award winner, AW is award winner. The award he won was the scoring title. And so that's what this card is. Just a really incredible card. These were way ahead of the game back in 91 when you were pulling these out of packs. But I completed my 8-10 pairing on that one as well. So there's the PSA 10, which is really tough to track down. And I picked that one up maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, something like that, if I recall. And had to pay a pretty penny for that card. And then the PSA 8 to go right next to it. And so, what's really funny is people are like, I can't tell the difference between PSA 8 and PSA 10. They look the same. And I'm like, I agree. It looks the same to me too. But grading is an arbitrary circus in a game that we play, or at least I play. Not everybody does. So happy to put that pairing together as well. So 4 pairings completed. That feels really good to me as an OCD Jordan collector who's looking to check off some boxes. And then I went ahead and picked up the 91 Upper Deck Award winner. This is the AW4. So the AW1 was for scoring leader. AW4 is the MVP award, which he picked up, which of course now the MVP award is named after Michael Jordan. So you can see it down there where it says MVP. And if we go back to this one, obviously you can see down there where it says scoring right there on the bottom of your screen. Hopefully you guys can see that. And then obviously, the surface, you've got some surface blemishes, which you guys can see. And so that's why the surface on these holograms is what's really most in peril, and that's what drops cards from 10s to 9s to 8s to even 7s. But picked up the AW4 PSA 8. I don't have the AW4 PSA 10. I'll be looking for that one. So if anybody knows of one or has one for sale, of course, I'm an interested buyer. And then the next card is the 1994 Stadium Club Members Only 50. So this is the Members Only parallel of the 1994 Stadium Club card number 20. Good looking card. On the back, you can see the members only stamp in the background in purple back there. If you kind of scroll in down here, you can see the words members only. But I always thought this was a pretty cool card from Stadium Club, sort of showing Ewing, Starks back there. And I guess that's Ewing's leg and Stark's leg. I don't know. It's like 4 different quadrants, but it's got Jordan on the, in the forefront with his 2 of his Knicks rivals in the background. And then you can see in the stamp in the top left, his gold foil stamp says, Top Stadium Club members only. For those of you not familiar, members only is a parallel of the base set for Stadium Club throughout the years that Stadium Club was produced. He's great. He's Mike. He's back. Yep, he is back, and he is great. And that was that card. And then I've got the 1994 SP Championship PSA 8. It's a die cut card. It's a base card, but it's die cut, so it's a little bit different. I picked this one up, I think, for $13. Right now it's $18, even with the Collectors Club membership to grade with PSA. So I thought, hell, why not? Let's pick it up. It's not perfect. It is definitely an 8, right? There's some issues on the edges on the front, which are unavoidably obvious, up there, and even especially down here on this bottom edge, I believe. You can kind of, a bottom right corner, it's just clear chipping, So, but that's part of the allure and the beauty of these PSA 8s, these little baby cards. That's why it was $13. But I like the card. I think it's a really cool card. I really like the SP cards from the 90s. I thought those were really good looking cards, and even the base cards look a little bit special to me, especially given the little die cut in the top left. The next one is a super baby cheap card. I think I paid $14 for this one as well, but this is the Skybox Premium Jordan Drexler Showdown series, where this was supposed to be this big battle between the 2 best shooting guards in the world, and Anybody who knows anything about basketball knows exactly how this turned out. This was their career games played during the regular season. It didn't work out so well for Drexler in the in the finals, and that's when Jordan went bananas from three-point range because they said he couldn't shoot threes, and there was all this talk about Jordan and who's the best shooting. Well, there wasn't much talk, but the media had to pump some type of narratives, so it was the matchup of the two best shooting guards, who's going to emerge on top, and of course that pissed Jordan off just like everything does, and so Jordan went bonkers and busted his ass. Of course, the scoring averages when Jordan and Drexler played each other was 25 Drexler, 35 Jordan. More rebounds, more assists, more steals, more blocks, and he had a 53 on Drexler. So, he won 7 out of 13, which Jordan usually beat people a lot worse than that. But that is what it is. I actually listened to this. So here's a little trivia for you. I heard an interesting stat the other day. I think Jordan had beat like 75% or 25% of the players that Jordan played against never beat him. But one player stood out, Sherman Douglas. The little general from Syracuse, was an awesome college basketball player, All-American, and the motor for that amazing, Syracuse dynasty back in the, I think it was the late 80s, maybe something like that. But Sherman Douglas, maybe it was the early 90s, but Sherman Douglas played against Jordan 30 times in his NBA career and never beat him. 0 for 30 in games against Jordan. So I thought that was an interesting statistic. But this little baby $14, $15 card is just reminiscent of when Jordan and Drexler were kind of mentioned in the same conversation, albeit briefly. And again, Drexler was a great player, first ballot Hall of Famer. And then this is a Jordan Silver Script card. Most notable is the fact that Neymar is back here in the background right there. That's Neymar, young Neymar Jr. No, I'm just kidding. That's not Neymar, but looks kind of like him. And then this lady's shorts are just next level. They're legendary. That's the 80s right there in a nutshell. This lady with the Kevin Bacon feathered butt cut and those gigantic mommy shorts, which are pulled way up too high, just below her nipples. And then this guy over here, this is like Bucky Dent or Phil Garner with that gigantic mustache and the humongous mirrored sunglasses. And then this guy's got a camera around his neck, which now people use phones to take pictures. Back in this, for you young collectors, people used to take pictures with cameras, not their phones. I don't know if many of you know that, but this Jordan card I thought was always cool. Again, collector's choice is as cheap gets. But this is the silver signature parallel, I should say, from 1994. And again, not much to see there. So that's it, guys. Not much here. The two biggest cards are the Electrified, which I think I picked up for $558. We saw on Card Ladder, which was pretty good discount off the last two sales. The Topps Archives PSA 8 was cheap. Got that in my pairing. And then a not so cheap PSA 8 Planet Metal. And then closed out my hologram series for AW1. I still need AW4. I think I have the AW9 and PSA 10. I need to pick that AW9 up in PSA 8, which is easily reconciled and will be done by the time I do another mail day. So no issues there. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. As always, hopefully you had a fantastic 2022. I think you'll be watching this video in early 2023. And hopefully you guys enjoy these mail day videos. There's not much to them. I try to keep them around 10, 12, 15 minutes, something like that, so you guys can eat them up and they're digestible. Let me know what you think of these cards that I picked up. Again, heavy Jordan flavor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Jordan cards. Again, mostly babies, but a couple of meaningful cards. So keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby. Peace.